Good morning, everyone. I am Alex from Sharpe Two, and today we're going to see how you can build your own dashboard to deepen your understanding of what is happening in the market. So, of course, we have ML models that are here to point you in the right direction, but sometimes all we want is just a space where we can explore, let our intuition guide us, and ultimately form a deeper opinion about what's going on. So, without further ado, let's just have a look at it. There is almost an infinite amount of insight and data one can dream to look at when exploring vol markets. From the term structure to the variance risk premium, there is definitely no shortage of analytics that one can dive into to explore the market. And unfortunately, before you know it, things get messy and all over the place. You have insights and charts everywhere. And essentially, my space is designed to help you build mini thematic dashboard centered around one thing you're trying to explore. You can start a complete new dashboard from scratch, or you can use one of our presets that is already configured. Regarding the presets at the moment, we only have two, the VRP and the market overview. The VRP helps you dive deeper into the VRP analysis for a specific ticker, and the general market overview is, as one would expect, a general market overview and understanding from a volatility standpoint of what to expect in the market. We plan to add more as the product matures, but do not hesitate to come up with your own suggestion, and then we will do whatever we can to add them into the platform. Yes, you can still customize them and do whatever you need to do before they load up, right? So let's have a look right now. So I'm gonna take the market overview preset, and you can see that it comes up with 4 different charts already load up and kind of customize for me: the regime timeline, the vol of vol, the historical volatility. And I can add charts. So you can have up to 6 charts in each of your specific spaces. And here, for instance, let's add the volatility forecast volatility chart. So you can pick any chart, by the way, from our libraries of charts. We are still adding new charts as the product evolve. Right now we're going to pick this one. Once you've picked that one, so obviously it's a forecast, so what you really care about is the last business day. You can select the ticker you're interested in. It looks like we're trying to get a general overview of what's happening, so keeping SPY makes sense. But if you wanted to switch to QQQ, for instance, you could just look at it and then save it into the configs. Let's add another chart, for instance, and in that case, we're going to load the timeline, so the VIX timeline. Where is my VIX timeline? I think it's going to be this one, the VIX index. So at Sharpe 2, we recompute the equivalent of the VIX for all of our different tickers. It is very handy to get the full view of variance and volatility baked into the option chain and overall in the volatility surface. You may be missing information incorporated in the tails, for instance, if you just use at the money volatility. That will be the object of another video, but yeah, like once again, when we use the VIX, it's not the VIX from the market, it's the VIX that we recompute for every single of our different tickers. So here, once again, I'm picking SPY, but it could be IWM, and what we will be loading ultimately is VIX for IWM. The other thing, because it's a timeline and I want to see how it evolves over time, I'm going to build a date range between now and then, let's say 6 months ago. I save the config. I have the different charts that I was looking for. I can change the title, market overview demonstration, for instance. And then once I have created the space, I am now in an environment that fits the market thematic I was trying to capture. So in that case, it's a general market overview of volatility. It's really centered around the general US indices. We have SPY, we have the Qs, and I can now spend as much time as I want and deem necessary in all those different charts and look how I could structure trades. Sometimes I will want to apply one ticker to all the different charts, so I can come here and say, okay, I want to have that market overview now, but specifically for Apple, for instance. I can pick the ticker, and then things are going to load up for the ticker I was looking into. We still have our 6 charts. I can see the forecasted realized volatility for Apple for the next day. Actually, the last business day should be the 28th, not the 27th. So I can always come back in here and then pick up the right date. And same for the term structure and all those different charts. But then sometimes, as we just did right now, I want to be able to dive deeper into one of that specific chart. So let's look at the term structure, for instance. I would want to, for instance, add other ticker. So once again, let's not take the 27th, but the 28th. I would want to add other ticker so that I can make my comparison more meaningful. So let's add NVIDIA, for instance, and Tesla. And I can compare now the different term structure, like for like, point for point, and take the decision that I have to take, right? So Tesla and Apple, for instance, are still in backwardation. NVIDIA is not really in backwardation. What are you going to do with this? I don't know. Maybe you think that the volatility at 1 month for Apple is way too low compared to NVIDIA, and you can start thinking of structuring a trade because of the difference in term structure. By the way, when we talked about long short, we haven't talked about it, but we have a lot of signals on that long shorts page that allows you to see how one ticker versus another one from a volatility perspective, right? It's not a pair trading on the price space, it's a pair trading on the vol space. How that can be done, you can go look into the long short section or potentially into the analysis. But once again, that will be the object of another video. Okay, so you have your space, you have dug a little bit into all of your different insights, have look into the different term structure where the VIX for a specific ticker is. That's all nice. But now you want to replace one of the charts, right? You can configure your space at a higher level overall by just clicking on the 3 little buttons here at the top. And then more specifically, you can remove a chart and then later on replace it. So let's say you've decided that you've seen enough of vol, you can remove it. You will save your changes, and then later on you can add another chart related to what you're trying to see. So let's say, for instance, we want to see what spot vol is for SPY. I don't want to see these two, and I want to see how it has evolved over the last 6 months. It's the same idea. You configure your charts, and then ultimately it's going to load up for you here, and you can save your changes. Okay, so you've saved your changes. That's great. You have a functioning space. The space is great overall when you know the thematic in advance. But what if you're looking for new ideas, right? Sometimes we only know what we want when we seize it, and we have more than 20 different charts available in the platform, and we keep adding them. At the moment, you can see all of them into that libraries of chart. They are into different categories. We're going to make those categories more meaningful. That ranges from vol cones to different vol matrices. And then the one that, if you're familiar with the newsletter, the one that you will recognize, this one, we use it quite a bit. Semi-variance can be useful if you do some trend following systems. The vol surface, the vol term structure, and then implied volatility, anything related to the VRP. Anyway, you'll find all our different charts in there. This is a great way, once again, to find some inspiration about how to look at the markets and add them in your different thematic for your different spaces. For instance, one of the charts that are very popular are these ones regarding the matrix and the edge charts. It essentially allows you to identify different corner of the market where you want to be short vol. So you basically have the implied vol Z score on the x-axis, and then you have the VRPC score on the y-axis, and then it's going to be pointing the different tickers where VRP stretch, IV stretch, and you probably want to pay attention to that. It's earnings season, so a lot of those are just earnings related. Same idea with the skew Z score and the VIX Z score, allows you to find different parts of the market where maybe it's best to be shorting puts on that one. And if you're trying to be long calls, here are a few ideas that you can consider. There's plenty of article in the Substack. We're in the process of linking them to the platform to make sure that things are easier to follow. But yeah, I found those matrices extremely useful. I used to write a lot about them in the Substack. So it's typically the kind of asset you want to add to your spaces to understand what is going on for a specific ticker, for a group of tickers, and ultimately help you to make better trading decisions. That is it for that video about how to use the space in the Sharpe Two platform to see your different assets, charts, and insight about the overall volatility market and outline exactly the way you want to see them, which I think is the most important part, right? If you have comments, remarks, suggestions, please reach out to us either in the comments, in Discord, in Substack. The platform is constantly evolving at that fast pace, and we are obviously always happy to incorporate new feedback. That is it for this video. Thank you for tagging along, and see you next time. And in the meantime, happy trading.